Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence, and he can talk.
No, I can talk now. I was just coughing.
And Gal is here.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Hey, sorry, I was just coughing as well.
Yeah. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by VMix Software, DudeInITsoft.com, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, we have Spence here, and we have Nick here. We must be lucky.
Will you stop? It was it was 1 week.
Nick was
Get used to
really,
it, Nick.
really busy.
This show is incredibly.
Sleeping.
I was sleeping. It's true. Incredibly busy sleeping.
Yeah. Welcome to our corner. Let's shame those who weren't here last week.
I mean, that's fine. Shame all you want. I just won't show up next week either. I don't care.
How do you know we weren't on some unbelievable humanitarian mission to save the planet?
Maybe you were. I was definitely sleeping. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
And we had a chance to get away for the weekend, which is really hard to do. So we took it.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. I'm sorry, Nick.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, we're gonna have to. I think we should unionize. That's what I'm thinking now, so that we don't have to deal with this crap anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Strike.
Yeah, I'm gonna strike the show.
No, Nick, we've been talking about it before the show. Nick has been playing the latest and greatest. And apparently when you do that, when a game comes out, you just put hours and hours and hours into it. I even asked him if he went to work.
Well, so we could talk about it a little bit later on, but
All right.
yeah, it's yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later. That's fine. This week there was a weird situation with Mindspring / Earthlink. I'm looking at the mail queue and I see a bunch of emails that's supposed to go to Earthlink customers that it says that it's being refused. So I go to look, and in researching it, I see that Earthlink is down and it's been down for a few hours. And this was early in the morning. So I said, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Let it go. In the evening, it was still. The next morning, that Tuesday morning, it was fine. Everything was cleared out. I went to look on Down Detector, and sure enough, it was down. But it was out all over. I had a show Tuesday morning, and Marilyn is the one that hosts it, The Health Inn, and she's sending me an email at about 9 o'clock in the morning. No, she called. I'm sorry. And she says, well, can I have the link for Zoom for the Health Inn? I said, oh, it's today? She said, yeah, I sent you a few messages yesterday. I said, I didn't get any. I mean, I didn't connect it right away. So we did the show. Everything was fine. Later on this afternoon, Tuesday, I'm getting an email from her. Can I please have a link? And I'm looking. I said,
Hey,
what? And in EM Client, which I use, you can have a column of when it was sent and a column for when it was received. And it was sent the day before. And I'm saying, what the hell? What is going on with the mail server that it's holding mail for a whole day? And then it hit me. Oh, Earthlink. So they were receiving mail from their customers. They did not let the customers know that there was a problem with the email. And the problem was just with the email because the websites and everything was working. So I told her, I said, okay, now I see what happened. Yeah, you must have sent me the email. But there was a problem with Earthlink, and I sent her the link to Down Detector to see. And she said, oh, very interesting.
Well,
Later
let me
on
ask you this.
What? Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How much longer are these services going to exist?
I have no idea. I don't know why people still use them. I guess it's because they had that email for ages and ages, and they don't want to change. They're definitely. I mean, they're going down slowly, and sooner or later they will go away. I always tell people, I mean, no matter where you have email with a small ISP, like Delta Force, get your own domain name. It's not expensive. Get your own domain name and switch the email to that domain because that will never change. And
Yeah,
you
but I
have
mean, you don't even have to go that far, Amber. I mean, you could use Gmail.
You can. Sure.
I mean, there's these services that will never go away. Well, let's ask Spence.
Hold
Was
on,
up until
hold on.
last year you were using an old service, Spence?
Right.
well, no, it was more than the last year, but I did have MindSpring. I was a original NandoNet user. That was my first dial-up service I had, internet service here. It was through the News and Observer in Raleigh, and that
Yeah.
became Nando, and then it went to MindSpring, and then it became Earthlink. So I had a MindSpring email account that it took me probably 6 months to go through and finally change everything that I needed to change. I had so much stuff tied up in MindSpring. It was a real problem.
That's the thing is people just used to it.
Right, but you want to start the process, right?
Right.
Before the service is going to disappear,
Correct.
right? The problem is that when a service like this will disappear, even Google, right? Right now, what was it, last week or the week before, they notified that their unlimited storage for photos is no longer going to be unlimited, right? And it's going to start counting through the quota.
Right.
And they were more than fair, I think, in giving over a year's notice for this. But still, right? If some place is going down, is shutting down, we won't get 6 months. You won't get enough time to do the migration. So
About 12 hours.
Right.
maybe, yeah.
And when it comes to email, it is not just up to you. I mean, when it has to do with storage, it's up to you to go and download and upload and do all that. But when it comes to email, it's up to other people. And if people normally don't you don't send back and forth messages on regular basis, it's kind of hard to let them know that that's going on, to sit down and to send an email on. So I always tell people, just get your email at your own domain and set up your Outlook or whatever you're using to put the return address and your email address as the new one. And you don't even need to notify people because people don't look at what is your email address when they send you stuff. they just click reply. And after a while, everybody is going to have your new email address. And and now it's up to you to watch and see, are you getting any more email to your Earthlink email or to your old email? And when you see that all that's coming in there is probably just spam or unimportant stuff, then you kill it.
Yeah, what I did was
But
I had Earthlink
but
as my
but
IS.
wait, one thing, Gal is right. You have to do it when you still have time to establish it.
Well, I was nervous about Earthlink for a while because I could see the decline, and I had them. It's been years, but I had them as my ISP. They used Time Warner infrastructure, and they were my ISP. And when I got to the point where Time Warner was offering higher speed, I went to Earthlink. I said, I want that higher speed. We don't offer that. What do you mean you don't offer it? So they could not match the price or the speed of Time Warner. So I said, done. And I got rid of it. And I just paid, what was it, $3 a month to keep my email address. And then the price went to $4, and then the price went to $5 a month to keep the email address. So I said, I got to deal with this. And I gave myself 6 months, and then I canceled it.
Yeah.
And I still run into occasionally some place that had Earthlink or MindSpring as my email.
And
But
then
nothing-
you
I
can
took care of everything critical. I mean,
Right.
at least I did a pretty thorough job in fixing it. There's nothing I wound up, having a disaster about. So
Yep, it's important to make sure that your email is going to keep on flowing, no matter what. And a
I
situation,
missed out on all those Nigerian bank offers, though. That was the problem. I could have made a lot of money. I
Eh,
wasn't getting those emails anymore.
and look at this. Here it is. Here's a situation where it's half-ass working. And if your business, and a lot of business still have email with Earthlink. And the thing is, when I told her, she said, "What does that have to do with Earthlink? My email is not with Earthlink. We have AT&T."
Yeah, people don't
And I'm
understand.
looking at the header, and it's sure enough, it goes from her machine to something with Earthlink right away. And I mean, I didn't even bother going looking to see how it works. But here it is. If you're a business or it's something important and you are
hold on a
sending,
second here. I'm sorry. If you're a business and you're still using a free Earthlink or MindSpring email
No.
address,
no. That's not what she's doing. She's got email in her own domain. But
Okay.
somehow the configuration of her email program, the provider is using Earthlink as their SMTP. She's
Ooh.
checking mail on Delta Force.
what?
Yeah.
That's
She's
weird.
That something's fishy. That
something is
makes
very
absolutely no
fishy
sense.
here. But the thing
Who is reselling Earthlink's email service
I
for
have
SMTP?
no idea. I went back because I said, well, maybe something happened. So I went back to some emails that she sent last week, 2 weeks ago, some that are 6 months ago. They all go from her computer right away to an Earthlink, SMTPD something, earthlink.net. And I said, no, it's nothing new. I mean, somehow she is. Now, it's hard for me to believe that Earthlink, if you had an account and you cancel it, will still let you use their SMTP server to send mail out. That's very
I
irresponsible.
was going to ask, did you check? Is it still Earthlink's outbound?
I didn't check her machines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, she's sending its Earthlink outbound. And it's very simple hops. It goes to Earthlink and it comes to Delta Force. It's not like it's going like crazy and a bunch of hops in between. So if this happens and you don't, you can lose a lot, if a decision has to be made, if it's money that needs to exchange, your emails are not going out. The next day, I got a thing from Earthlink that I can't remember how it happened, but it said that there were emails that you were supposed to get and they didn't go out because the server has too many messages. Try later. And I told her, I said, you see, this is a problem. I told her to find out. I mean, I've got better things to do. If somebody's can't figure it out, I'll jump in and try and help. But obviously, somehow, Earthlink is involved here. With AT&T, I don't know. AT&T not using. I know AT&T is using Yahoo, but AT&T using Mindspring, because I said, okay, now who are you paying every month? And she said, we're paying AT&T.
Well, the point is still valid. I mean, I would still not be using AT&T for business mail.
Yeah, well, and then again, no, but you have to use either AT&T or Spectrum for your provider. And if
but that doesn't make sense. Your internet provider has nothing to do with your mail server.
in a lot of
It
cases,
It used to.
Yeah, but it doesn't anymore.
Yeah, it used
I
to.
mean, if my SMTP is deltaforce.net
Mhm.
for outgoing email, it doesn't matter who the hell my internet provider
that's correct.
is.
That is
but
the
that
way
wasn't
that
always true.
No, but it is now.
Yeah.
it was when AT&T started farming it out. You had to use Yahoo if you wanted to use, and I think you still do. But if you wanted to use your own, you had to go through so many loopholes to find them and say, yeah, I need to fill this in. Oh, now I need to make another somersault because over there I need to. There were no clear instructions how to do it. You could, but it was not easy. So everybody just said, okay, well, I'm using Yahoo because it's by default. They tell you what to put in there and it works. So a lot of people were doing that. It is a problem. Yeah. Today, I think you can, if you have an AT&T, you can just go and change your SMTP, and I don't think it will stop you from sending mail. It used to be that you couldn't even finish setting up the profile in Outlook or whatever email program you're using if you did not use the Yahoo address, if your provider was AT&T.
Well, the difference now is that all email is routed through a Dominion server in Germany. And they have the option to change your email at any time.
Yeah.
Well, they know best, so.
Yeah, they do.
So it's, I mean, you really need to think about it because being an ISP, you talk to new customers and you ask them about emails. Say, no, I have an email at AOL and everybody has it, and and they're using an AOL address that is really buggy, but they don't want to change because it takes doing.
Yeah, but I would say for the time being, AOL, Yahoo, Gmail, those free addresses, you're fine with those guys. They're not going to disappear. But some of these significantly older providers, like Earthlink, I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, they can't be growing.
No, they're definitely not. I mean, the good thing about AOL, and say what you want about AOL, they still have millions of mail users.
Mhm.
They're not just going to disappear overnight.
Earthlink
They could, of
is-
course, but
Earthlink is like New York City. They're losing so many people that they have to keep raising taxes on the people that stay.
you said at one point you were spending $6 a month for email through them.
It was $5.95. That's the last straw for me. Was like, you
That
gotta
is
be
stone
kidding me.
cold retarded.
Yeah.
What were you getting for $6 a month?
No, I was just
40
keeping-
megabytes.
I started out $3 to keep that email address. So I was, and what the intention was, I was going to get rid of it. But in the course of the 2 years it took me to finally get around to it, it went from $3 to $6.
Yeah, but what were you getting for
Storage.
$6?
Oh, I got
what-
like 5 email addresses and web hosting and a few other things. It was their
Jesus.
minimum. You're not with them as an ISP anymore. You used to get it all for free if they were your ISP. But if you took it just as a service without the ISP provided, you had to pay. So I did it just because I couldn't get high-speed internet from them anymore. So I moved over to Time Warner, and then I just paid the fee for those 2 years until I got fed up.
That's crazy. You can get Office 365 for like $9 a month. A full Office 365. That's crazy that they would charge
Nick,
that
I still think about why did I wait?
No, but that's just
No.
that is so, like if $2 or $3 a month for email is one thing, but $6 when you can, yeah, that's insane.
But it's Earthlink.
Well, yeah,
It's so great.
and was that even a custom email? That was just your regular. That was you had an
No, that was just
Mindspring, didn't you?
Earthlink.net.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah. That wasn't even a hosted email.
No.
That's crazy.
What I did like about it, though, there was one thing about Earthlink service that I liked. You could create anonymous email addresses on the fly and use it I used to use it for registering the things I didn't want to ever hear back from. So you could create up to 6 anonymous email addresses, and it would be something just as, you couldn't change what the name was, but it was still just as bizarre at whatever it was.com. But it was very handy.
Right, but if you buy your own domain, you can do it as well.
Yeah, but it was just it was a reason why I liked it. It wasn't a reason why I kept it.
Yeah.
So
I have
now
2
just
domains.
I have anonymous Gmail addresses that I use for that kind of stuff. So,
I have 2 domains that are nothing but anonymous email addresses. Fantastic.
I never used Facebook to watch the show. But
Yeah.
but every time I start a show, I just go and take a look and say that it actually is there,
Mhm.
that I did not mess up on the code. And I just switched over, and I caught from the corner of my eye, I see, oh, it's got captions.
Yeah, it
I didn't know
auto
that.
captions. YouTube does that too.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they did that. They switched that on because people don't like hearing the video you scroll, but they want the videos to play while you scroll the feed. And with
YouTube?
captions, it grabs your attention because you can actually, watch for a while, decide if you want to switch on the audio or not.
YouTube doesn't have that option.
It's not on by default. You can enable captions.
Yeah, I saw that. But if I go to YouTube, it doesn't have that option. And
Maybe it's
which-
something you need to enable on the stream.
I don't know. Which doesn't, well, let's see, what's in the domain? No, which doesn't have it either. That's interesting. Very interesting.
Well, at least we know
Never
now
paid.
what their bots think we're saying. No, I mean, it's exactly this, right? That's what they're doing.
I think this is
The AI bots that filter content is based on these transcripts, right? So
probably, yeah. Good point.
Well, speaking of YouTube, I think it's only I think it's only interesting that we that we talk about their new policy that they put out this past week, and what they have announced. This is officially from YouTube. This is not anything other than that. This is a quote now from their press release. We will. This is YouTube saying, we will remove videos claiming that a presidential candidate won the election due to widespread software glitches or counting errors. We will begin enforcing this policy today and ramp it up in the weeks to come. As always, news coverage and commentary on these issues can remain on our site if there's sufficient education, documentary, scientific, or artistic content. So YouTube has pretty much said, well, they haven't pretty much said, they have said, if you now publish videos talking about contesting the election, that your videos will be removed from the platform.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's
it is full 1984 in effect over at YouTube. I'm flabbergasted that a platform that allows, there's plenty of bad things
hate
on
stuff.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Plenty of awful, terrible things on YouTube.
Yeah, they won't take those down.
Yeah, but they'll draw the line at somebody saying Biden didn't win. I just find that to be, I mean, it's not unbelievable. We knew this was coming, but it's pretty eye opening, and it's the reason that like myself and a lot of other people are putting content on other sites as well, like BitChute and Rumble, because it's only a matter of time before YouTube just completely gets rid of everything that they don't
I've got a
agree with.
Rumble account.
I haven't used Rumble yet, but I am going to sign up for an account.
It's not. I mean, it's not. The functionality isn't all there yet, but it actually is. It's okay. I had in the beginning there was a lot of duplication. Weird.
I like
stuff.
BitChute.
Yeah, BitChute is good. I
been
watched
out for
it, but I
some
don't have
time.
an account.
Yeah. So
Rumble is
full
for
on
video.
Yes, it is. So yeah, full on 1984 going on in inside of YouTube. It's pretty amazing.
Twitter.
Let's
Twitter's
not
kept
compare it
up.
to 1984.
Why?
1994 is complete government control.
Well,
This isn't the situation. This is just one. Even if it's 10 platforms, even if it's the biggest platforms, you still have alternative platforms. They're not outlawed. They're not banned. It is a sad state of affairs. I agree. I agree that there should be a place where fair discussion should occur, but I wouldn't go so far as calling it 1984. But it's definitely on their way there, right? If this trend continues, I'm just saying, let's put it in realistic terms. That's all.
Twitter has added. They've had for a while now that this anything mentioning the election that is controversial to them. It says you and I was today doing the specials. I was at a USA Today page listing tech gifts. They actually had embedded in the article. Don't believe all the election stuff you read. What in the article? It had nothing to do with the election. They're just putting these banners into their content.
Yeah. I mean, you open Instagram, right? And it gives you like a reminder at the top, the election has been announced or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I am completely with you. This whole focus on what other people might think, I think it went way too far in these platforms, and it definitely should stop. I'm just glad that I'm not part of any discourse like this online, right? Otherwise, it would be annoying.
You know what's an interesting byproduct of this, though, is that more people know now. Even if they see this banner and they say, "What is this? I haven't heard anything about this," because they haven't. Some media is just not covering it. So they say this, just make sure you realize that this is disputed. And they go, "What's disputed?" So it actually makes people go out and look. So it's kind of a byproduct of it is that because they did some polling about how many people thought that something irregular was going on, and the number, and it was on a left-leaning website that did the poll. It was an informal internet poll, but still, the informal internet poll, the results came back and said that 49% of the people who took the poll thought that there was irregularities and fraud in the election, which is amazing to think about it, because you would go to a left-leaning site who usually frequents it. There's people, you go places you're comfortable with. So that number in itself was interesting because it shows that people are finding out. They're actually getting the information despite the fact that it's not mentioned. So, yeah, it'll be over when it's over.
It will never be over.
No, I realize that. That's what I mean. It'll be over when it's over, which is never. So we'll
It
move
just
on
sets
to,
a
we'll move on to
very,
something else.
It just sets a very interesting. I don't know. Trying to figure out what the long-term plan of these companies are is just very interesting. It just YouTube has never been a news source or a news network, and the fact that they're placing themselves like that just to me seems like a failed idea. I'm confused as to what their business plan is going forward,
It
because
hasn't been a news source for you because you are an educated news consumer.
no, I disagree. There's plenty of good news content on there. My point is that's what's made YouTube so great, is that it's not a news source. It's not a curated website like ABC News or Associated Press or Reuters. It's none of that. That's what's always made it so great. It seems that they want to become that, but those sites are all failing. Like, that's what makes the reason that Reddit and YouTube and these sites are so popular is because it's a free for all. Right there, it's not incredibly. Now, there are limitations on these sites, but it's not highly curated. They are if you search anything on YouTube now, if you go to YouTube right now and search for Joe Biden, just his name, he's the president-elect, right? If you search his name on YouTube, the first couple, Inside Edition, The Hill, NBC News, The Hill, Today, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Kimmel, The Independent, this is all news. What happened to content? What happened to YouTube creators? And there's not, I'm just scrolling.
The
PBS
thing.
NewsHour.
But that's the thing. The reason you get those top results, right, is because they are the most viewed ones, right?
They're not, though. That's
Why?
not true.
Or they might have promoted.
They're not the most viewed. This Tonight Show video has got like freaking 300 views.
It's promoted.
Then it's promoted, yeah.
Oh.
It's just like, the Guardian News has got a story here. It's got 14,000 views. You're telling me that that's the top something? There's not another video with Joe Biden in the title? Yahoo Finance, 3,000 views. 3,000 views. And it's on the front page when you search Joe Biden on YouTube.
And that's all the Yahoo employees.
It's just, they have destroyed this. The Hill, 976 views 1 day ago. And it's on the front page if you search Joe Biden. It's got less than 1,000 views. I have YouTube videos with more views.
It's whatever suits them.
But the point is they're destroying their own platform because you can't find content anymore.
They don't realize it because their activism is more important than their business.
And you know what, Nick? I don't know that they're destroying it because there are enough people out there that like that. And if they got half the population of the United States to use it, then they're fine.
You can
They
weigh this.
chose a side. That's what they do.
I don't understand it.
There are some indicators out there, though, that tell you that they're sensitive to this, because you look at the comments that came out. They were condemning Parler when Parler suddenly got popular. They gained millions of people in a short period of time. The top downloaded app on the Apple Store, and just crazy growth. So we can't have this, they said. This is not fair. This is not a good platform. Whatever came out and said, this should be banned. So you know that they're sensitive to it. They know, they see people fleeing, and they're aware. So
it's like any other business saying the other business is crap. Come on.
Yeah, don't go there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all business. It's all entertainment.
The best example of this really is if you go to YouTube and you search for Alex Jones, who does not have official YouTube, but does not have an official YouTube channel. These are the top videos that show up. I'm not logged in. The Howard Stern Show, Joe Rogan, NBC News, Last Week Tonight, which is John Oliver's show, The Guardian, Vice, CNN. This is the results. This is all mainstream media except for Joe Rogan.
They're all fair. They're all fair, middle of the road.
It's got nothing to do with fair. The point is this is not content for YouTube. This is traditional media content that makes its way on YouTube, which is the reason YouTube is popular is because it's not the late show. It's not Last Week's Tonight. That's why I don't watch these shows.
Well,
that's why I use YouTube.
But apparently when it comes to money, right, these shows bring into YouTube probably more than the rest.
They do because they're paying for it, but it destroys the platform. There's nothing left because the search, they have destroyed any sort of, remember you used to go down the rabbit hole on YouTube, right? You'd watch one video and then the recommended would be, and then 3 hours later you're watching something completely different. That stuff doesn't even exist anymore because you watch one video and the next recommended is a freaking MSNBC video. This is YouTube. I mean, not
that doesn't
Spectrum
happen
cable
to me,
TV.
but I'm probably watching different content.
If
you're watching a gaming content, you won't get to an MSNBC.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
I watch a lot of historical stuff. I'll watch videos on, there'll be a channel that's devoted to battleships. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I watch. So,
right, and you get rediverted to politics.
No, I'm saying I don't get it. I don't get
it.
When I'm watching
these aspects,
mainly
still
because
work.
I go to their channel and I just see what's listed under their channel. So I'm not just doing a search. I have some favorite history sites that I go to on aviation and naval history, and it's just good stuff. Or if you just want to watch, there's some stuff available that's amazing. You can just watch the assembly line at the Mercedes plant in Germany build a van. No talking, nothing, no music. It's just 1 hour of watching this thing go through the factory.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I gave up searching on YouTube, searching on Marketplace, Facebook, searching on Amazon. I know what to expect. Searching for a certain word is not rocket science. If you want to find items with ABC 789, then that's all that should be showing you. It's the only thing they should be showing you.
But you don't
until
know
they
what
run
is
out.
good for yourself.
You what?
They know what they don't. You
Yeah.
don't know what is good for you.
Right.
They know better than you.
eBay does a beautiful
AI.
job. No, they do a beautiful job. You type something, that's what comes up. And then says, okay, something that's along your search or whatever. We also found this. But you go on Amazon and you search for a part number. And you don't look at it right away at the part number in the content that when you see the different listings, and say, oh, there it is. And you go in there and you read and you read and then you see, oh, this is not ABC 789. This is ABC 777. That's not what I'm looking for.
You got to be careful because anything that's even close, they put up there and promote.
Yeah, but what
I've
does
had
it
that
take?
happen.
I mean,
when you
now,
search for a specific part number, you got to be careful.
That's the
Well,
problem.
remember, the search was designed to find books. And
no,
I'm totally serious here. And the evolution of it has gone through. So it started by searching for books, right? And then they tried to be a sort of an alternative to Google for a while. I'm talking late 2000, before 2010, something like that. Then they dropped that, right? But the search engine inside pretty much stayed the same. They haven't changed the behavior of that. Have you noticed in Amazon that you cannot do something that seems like the most trivial thing to do in a shopping site, and that is sort by price.
By price. Yep.
Right? It is impossible. The reason is because the entire logic around what goes on there has been developed completely separately than from the site itself and from the site's need. And so, yeah, we are living with those flaws until today. So,
but wait a second.
Stuck with it.
If I go to Amazon
Mhm.
and I'm looking for a book by Gal Shkolnik,
then
I don't
you'll
want to
get those.
see. I don't want to see a book by Gal Shkolnik. I mean, I'm looking
But
for
that's the thing.
Shkolnik.
Most people don't. Most people do not spell correctly everything.
It doesn't
Right?
matter.
So-
The point is, show the ones that you spelled, and then say, okay, we also find
Yeah.
something that's close. But at least for those that do know how to spell, and now we're talking about part numbers, show those.
I agree.
It
I
is,
agree. When it
it
comes
is
to part
so
numbers, it
frustrating.
needs to be spot on, but it's not.
Yeah. And with eBay, it's perfect. It is perfect. They show you, okay, they will only have 4 of them. You know they have more, but there was something different about them. But they're there. They don't take you down the rabbit hole to something else that has nothing to do with what you look. That's the problem. So I gave up on searching. I mean, or if I really want to find it on Amazon, I put more than just the part number.
Right.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And the other thing that drives me crazy is you're right. I mean, you can have the same part from 2 different vendors for 2 different prices. And so why don't you show me
Sometimes wildly
Sorted.
different prices.
what?
Sometimes wildly different
Yeah.
prices.
So just like Gal said, hey, and it's not like Amazon cannot fix that. I mean, they can
No.
rewrite the whole thing from scratch
Yeah.
in no
I
time.
mean, it is going to be a very complex task. I'm not saying it's easy, right? But it's definitely possible. It's definitely in the realm of their expertise. It's definitely something they can do. But obviously, it hasn't hurt business
No, obviously.
to not do it. So,
Gene's got a question in the chat
Yeah.
about an Asus monitor. I just looked at it. I mean, it looks like a fine monitor. Just make sure he uses DisplayPort with it instead of HDMI or DVI. And yeah, it's a 1 millisecond, 144 hertz monitor. So yeah, I mean,
Why,
looks good.
Nick?
Asus makes good stuff
Why DisplayPort?
because you get significantly higher bandwidth and throughput with it, and it will use FreeSync if it's available.
And you can basically get any adapter you need with DisplayPort.
But you'd
adapt it
want to
to
use
something else.
DisplayPort to DisplayPort. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're
Oh,
using
you
a
do.
GPU,
I mean, but if you,
yeah.
other than that, I mean, it's nice on these micro PCs. The fact that it's DisplayPort, you just say, "Well, what are you hooking it up to?" "Oh, I'm hooking it up to HDMI." Okay, you get an adapter.
It is cool. As much as I like HDMI, I agree with you, Spence. We order a lot of these. We have ordered a lot of these like mini, like HP G10s or whatever they are. These little like Nook-looking computers.
Yeah.
And they've got an HDMI or a VGA and a DisplayPort. And DisplayPort is fantastic because the adapters are dirt cheap. You know, and they're it's kind of made for that. HDMI not quite so much. So yeah, DisplayPort's great, but yeah, definitely and they all like this will come with a DisplayPort cable.
but
my
there
two
is one
monitors do.
thing to note, though. It is a 180.
It is.
And for 27 inch starts to be a large form factor. 180 might be too constrained. But then again, it might be just right? So definitely think about the amount of screen real estate you're going to cram in it. If it was gaming, I would say, yeah, no problem, right? But if you're talking about working with documents and working with web browsers, I'm thinking that on 180p on 27 inch, then everything will look very large, right? But you will not necessarily have a lot of space.
You need to
So
go
keep
and get a
that.
55-inch TV and use that as your monitor.
Well,
I've
that's,
got my
I do a 43-inch TV, 4K TV, and it works fantastic. It's
Yeah,
like four
I
screens.
I
So-
keep thinking about that on my office wall here. I have the two 24s side by side, but I thought about what if I got like a 60-inch TV and put it on the wall? Wow, that'd be something.
Well, 60-inch TV, I think you'll start having some neck problems.
It's just like sitting in the front row
No,
of
the
a
reason
movie.
is the reason is that our head is well equipped to do,
Yeah.
from left to right.
It's
But
like
when you
sitting in
start
the front.
putting the screens at the top, they are going to be less used. And that is part of what I'm experiencing with the 43-inch as well. But I still get a very large, like extra large working area right in front of me where I put most of my windows. And I have a lot of peripheral space to use auxiliary and putting things on the side that I can compare, and it has definitely boosted my productivity, either by just working on emails and doing work, or by writing code, browsing the internet. I definitely recommend looking for a screen with high resolution, but then again, the real estate to support that high resolution.
But
it is IPS,
Did
which
it
is
make you
nice as well.
smarter? That's the question. Did it make you smarter?
There's
Yes.
nothing that can
What-
make me
Nick,
smarter.
what did you say?
I'm as dumb as I'm ever gonna be, and I'm as smart as I'm ever gonna be.
It's
I
all
don't think it's gonna
downhill from
change.
here.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Nick said something IPS. What did you say, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, it's an IPS panel instead of a TN panel. So I have TN panels, which are not quite as good for gaming. You definitely want IPS, which is what that is.
Nice.
Hey, okay to shift subjects?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the specials.
Well, so was the time already? Oh, it
Yeah.
is. All right. Well, let's do the specials first, and then I wanted to talk about cord cutting because I made some significant.
Oh yeah, we want to
progress.
hear your.
I
Yeah,
did.
we
I
want to
made
hear
some
your experience.
progress. I learned a few things. I found out a few things that were very interesting. And
Well, stay tuned for
actually,
cord cutting update right after specials and a word
Yeah.
from your local Computers 2K Now affiliate.
that's it.
Sponsored by.
We now take you to live coverage. Our man on the scene.
There's
Okay.
turkeys falling from the sky.
That's it. All right. So today, we're in the holidays already. We're in Hanukkah. Christmas is close by. So I put our crack research team on finding great holiday gift ideas for us today. So this is
What
what
they're
we
doing,
came up
crack?
with. They're on crack. That's the way they find it. Hey, it opens up their minds, right? So they can find stuff anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a drug-free broadcast.
So interesting things that I stumbled across today. Just minding my own business. I actually, the reason I picked this first one, it's a photo frame, and these were popular a while ago. I have two of them. Actually, took one out the other day because I was cleaning up, and I found, I wonder what's on this. So I brought it downstairs. I plugged it in and turned it on. I was like, wow, this is a compilation of pictures from like 10 years of our life. And I let it play and I watched it. And I said, it's too bad this stuff isn't really better. I mean, you could do this with a tablet. I mean, it's not like you have to use a photo frame, but they're still around and the prices are reasonable. And now they're Wi-Fi enabled and they'll work with different they'll work with the Photos app. They'll work with Google, all these different sources, which is interesting. But so I found something. It's Brookstone, high definition Wi-Fi family photo album. It comes in three sizes: 8-inch, 10.1, and 14 inches. The 8-inch one is $99. That's on Amazon. The 10.1 is $119. And the 14 wasn't available on Amazon at this time, but I was pretty amazed. And if you have somebody in your family that's not tech savvy that you'd like to send them, here's our family pictures. If they're not in a position where they can easily access them or know how to, this is still a viable option just to send this to them. or to send them a memory card every so often. If they're just not, I can think of a situation where this would be perfect. I have an uncle who's in a nursing home, does not have access to a lot. It would be perfect to send him this with a bunch of pictures on it, set it up in his room.
Well,
Right.
Spence, if it's Wi-Fi, then it just might be you might be able to control this completely
Yes,
remotely.
possibly. I didn't go that deep
Yeah.
into it. So, but you're absolutely right. So you might be able
Yeah.
to send content to it. You might be able to set it up with a specific photo repository and just
Right.
keep updating it, and it automatically would send. Yeah. So that's some fascinating new things that are available. So they're out there.
I can tell you from my experience. So I used to have something like this way back when. It used to be incorporated into a phone, a DECT phone.
Oh,
And it would also, you could also pair a number with a picture, so you would actually see who was calling you. It was really cute. They don't make it anymore. I think it was a Brookstone one, but I'm not sure. But what I have today is I bought a very overpriced picture frame, a 27-inch picture frame, which inside it has, I think, a 19-inch display or 21-inch display. It has a beautiful wooden frame, so it looks like a picture on the wall, especially if you can hide the wire properly. And I put their family photos, and it's beautiful. The old medium had that part right, of being on display all the time, something that we don't do with our phones so much and our tablets. So, yeah.
That photo frames, that sounds interesting, because you could also do like outdoor
Artwork.
scenes or artwork, outdoor scenes.
Yeah.
You could have it, you could set it up so you could, different times of day, you could have a morning scene, an afternoon scene, and an evening scene. Yeah, that's cool stuff. You just have to use your imagination.
Yep.
Very popular now are earbuds, all kinds, all qualities, all prices. Amazon, you can get them as cheap as $29. I don't know how good they are. But the only reason I mentioned this one is because it was highly rated by the website I was using as an aggregator. It's called TrebLab X5 earbuds, 35-hour playtime. That's what attracted me. Pam and I are at the point in our lives where it's very hard to buy gifts for each other. So what we typically do is buy it for ourselves and let each other wrap it, and that's how we get the gift. So I already know what I'm getting.
But wouldn't you call this a headset?
Well,
Not
it's
just
earbuds.
earbuds?
Yeah, it's earbuds because it's self-contained. There's no wires other than the.
Well, it's a headset. You can speak with it.
Oh, it does
it's a
everything.
headset.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
everything. It's a headset. It's got microphone built in. You can answer the phone. It's got the ones that I got for myself it was at Costco. It was a Skull Candy version. What I liked about the price was very good. It was like $30 off the regular price. But what I liked about it was that it had controls in both earbuds, so you could use just one, and it didn't matter which one. So when I'm working, I like to be listening to stuff. But if I have both buds in at that time, I might not hear something I need to hear. So
when you adjust one, it adjusts the other.
yes,
Is that what you're saying?
You can have, like, if you're two people, you can each have one.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a good idea. So this is an option. It's $69.97 at Amazon. But I like the idea that it's 35 hours of playtime. That's significantly higher than the first generations that were out there.
It's 35 hours with the case, I assume. So it might be a lot less per continuous playtime. But
I don't know. It just says 35 hours of playtime.
Yeah. And also keep in mind that when they're using these numbers, they sometimes mean, okay, you can listen with one of them, right, for let's say 15 hours.
Right.
and then switch to the other because it's being charged.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or, it can be 7 hours for each, but you can switch them with the charger. That's why I'm saying it's 35 with the charger. So don't take it at face value. Read the small print.
Yeah. But the charging case is helpful too. You don't have
Yeah,
to have
very
anything with
helpful.
you.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I have an old Jabra Bluetooth headset that I used to use for phone work that had a charging case, which was great because
Yep.
I invariably, if I had a lot of conference calls and I was traveling. So, all right, now here's a new twist on an old favorite. It's Rubik's Cube, Go Cube, connected electronic Bluetooth cube. So
Yeah, I saw
now
that.
isn't that interesting? So
I'm
it is.
almost clicking the buy. I'm just too tempted.
It's expensive. It's $79.
Yeah,
But
it's a
you
very
load
cool
the
gadget.
app, and yeah, so it's not only is it a game, it's a trainer,
Mhm.
and you can use it to time yourself. You can use it to teach kids stuff. So it's
Does
an
it
interesting-
allow you to cheat?
Does it what?
Does it allow you to cheat?
Probably not. Well,
It gives-
it
if you
depends
do
on what
cheat,
you
it-
call cheat. It
you
can
cheat,
tell
it
you
gives
how
you a
to
shock.
solve.
It gives you a shock if you cheat.
I would love that.
All right. So the next one I found, this is very interesting, and from a couple of different perspectives. It's
Yeah.
called Power Up, and I think it started out as a Kickstarter project, but it is a series of different controller and propeller modules for paper airplanes that you can build, and they have patterns to build. Some they have a kit that you can use to design your own, but they have three generations: version 2, version 3, and version 4. And you buy it. It has an app. You can control the plane. Now, there are no control surfaces on a paper plane, obviously, but you can because it's two propellers in the back. You could theoretically steer this thing because you can apply more thrust to one propeller or the other propeller to get it to steer. But the point is, it teaches aerodynamics. They have an education kit that you can buy for teachers to teach this. You can get like you buy 10 of them and you bring it to a classroom. They have a whole education kit used for teaching kids about aerodynamics. It's a fascinating company. I really liked it. So it says smartphone control, but what that means, I'm not really sure. It says up to 10 minutes of flight time, ready to fly, onboard
Probably the
computer,
remote
auto
control to
stabilizers.
control it. It's smart.
Yeah, so you can control it, but it's got that spar that goes across the wing. Now maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they're doing some wing warping. I'm not sure. But the point was it seemed like a really good idea to teach kids or just as a hobby. It's fun. I used to love building all kinds of paper airplanes. I know and balsa wood planes and things like that. Rubber band planes. So this is $99 for the 4.0. The 2.0 is cheaper. I didn't put the price down there, but the most expensive one bundle is for 4.0, and they have lots of other different accessories to go with it. This next one, all right, it's not high tech. It is a wireless device, but what I like about it, it's called a Ludella's Generation 2 remote controlled candle. It is an actual flame, but as soon as your hand gets close to it, it shuts off. As soon as you tilt it, it shuts off. So it's very safe in a lot of environments. And it's got a remote control. You press the remote control. It has 4 different heights of flame with the remote. You do have to buy the cartridges, though. That's the one thing about it. It's $25 for 2 50-hour cartridges. So 100 hours for $25. But it's an interesting, if you're in an apartment, you're someplace that you just don't want to have an open flame that's out of control, this would be a nice thing to have. So this is, oh gosh, did I not include the price? Oh, $99.
99.
$99, yeah. And it's direct from the manufacturer. I'm not sure if they sell in any other venue. I didn't find any. All right, with all the video conferencing going on, a lot of people bought light rings for illumination, and it's a good idea. But this is another type of lighting device for people who do a lot of conferences. This is a suction cup that attaches to the back of the screen on your laptop. So if you travel, and you can, it's got different intensities, different color, temperatures, and the gradient of, or I should say, the power levels are 1% to 100%. So it's not stepped. It's actually adjustable from 1 to 100%. It seems, I guess, the LEDs light at 1%. Because sometimes when you're dimming an LED, you have to get up into the 10 or 15% power range before it actually starts, and then it goes up from there. So it's interesting. It comes with a couple of tripod mounts, so you don't have to use the suction cup necessarily. And it's got a USB-C adapter for charging, and you can use it while it's charging. So that's another nice feature. 14 hours of uninterrupted runtime for lighting your conferences. Interesting. Remember, Nick, you were talking about a good wireless speaker system for the house. And this is what intrigued me today when I saw this. It wasn't on Amazon. It was just on a website where the guy says, hey, you can ditch those sound bars. The sound of the new Amazon Echo speakers is so good that if you want to, you can use these as your sound bar. Fourth generation, if you use the fourth generation Echo Dot speakers. The caveat to this is you have to have a Fire TV device to control it. But you can, if you have a Fire TV, it says it will work with live television, and I'm not sure what they mean by that. We'll talk about that when we talk about the cord cutting. But the idea here is that the guy quoted a price as being $100 for the two, but they're actually on sale now for $29. So it's $60 for the two. And these are the newest speakers. You can use them. Don't have a sound bar. Just put them anywhere you want. Sit down and watch TV and have a good audio experience. So that's $29 each. And of course, it's got Alexa built in. So, all right, this next thing, only reason I got attracted to this was because of the brand name Anker. I have a lot of Anker products, and they're good stuff. It's good stuff. But this is a Anker Nebula Capsule Smart Wi-Fi Mini Projector. 100 lumens. That's not a lot, but in a dark environment would work fine. 360-degree speaker, movie projector, can cast up to a 100-inch picture, 4-hour video playtime. Remember the mini projectors you used to see? They were pretty cheap, but they were very small, didn't have a lot of power. This is a significantly more powerful device. It's normally $349, but it's on sale for $299. And another interesting device, potentially useful. Nobody goes to the movies, right? Some people go to the movies, but if you don't have a projector, you want to have a widescreen experience with a movie. It is HD. So that's $299. And finally, if you're a Lego fanatic, and I know several, some of these kits are really expensive, but this is one of the most interesting one. 3,599 pieces. It's a Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron race car building kit and engineering toy. Adult, and notice I say adult collectible sports car with scale model engine. It's $349.95. But man, I tell you, I know some people who are just absolutely adult fanatics of Lego stuff, the more technical stuff.
Have you heard about NetBricks?
NetBricks?
Yeah.
No.
It is intentionally sounding like Netflix, and it is basically, remember the Netflix DVD subscription?
Yeah.
It is basically a Netflix DVD subscription for Lego sets.
Oh wow, cool! So you can get a kit,
Yeah.
and then you play with it, and
yeah. So yeah, you subscribe to like a tier, and the more you pay, you can get it for long, extended periods of time, and you can get higher valued sets. I remember when we came to the States, I heard about it, but my son was already growing out of it. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I would have bought it just for my enjoyment with him as the excuse, but it was no longer valid. So
I'm looking at it now. This is cool.
Yeah, it is an amazing company. They're definitely doing it right, because when it comes to Lego sets, right, there's a lot of aspects that, and if you look at their FAQs, there's a lot of aspects that come with the whole idea of sharing a Lego set, and they address all of them. And it's so if there are any Lego fanatics in the audience, I definitely recommend you check NetBricks. Netbricks.biz is their site.
So they have different plans. The unlimited plan has 4 versions, and it goes from $29 a month, which is as many as you can do in a month, up to the XL unlimited. So it's $29 for small, $39 for medium, $49 for large, and $69 for XL unlimited. And they're, I mean, it's got the Tower of London.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
amazing.
it's pretty amazing. And even if you're not thinking you're going to spend, a monthly subscription on it, there's a one-time program as
yes.
well. You actually pay, right? But when you return it, you get a substantial value back, because you're replacing it with another. So it's not like it is not comparable to buying your own and selling. There is a value there, because they take it, they sort it, they make sure that none of the pieces are missing, right? And so
How do they do that? That's
I don't
incredible.
know. Yeah, it is.
That's
It
got to
is.
cost money.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, right, the membership plus paying for the everything around is probably going to cost you more than owning 1 or 2 of these sets, right? It's definitely, on the short term, it's going to cost you more. But if you stick with them on the long run, you're definitely getting value from it. So it is a very, very, very interesting service. And if you know a kid or an adult who really, really is into Lego, this is definitely something to know about and share.
This would make an interesting gift too. You could
Yeah.
buy somebody a subscription for a while. That'd be
Right,
fun.
for a few months.
Or just get them a one-time rental and send them one. It'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at that cost of that Bugatti, $349. I mean, it's nice, and I'd like to have it sit there and look at it, but eventually it'd be like,
exactly. Once you made it,
yeah,
yeah, right, yeah.
Take a picture of it.
You might be the Lego type that actually, dismantles stuff and hooks up something new, and that's valid. That's all valid, right? But if you really want, the experience of working with a lot of sets, this sounds like the best option out there.
Did you watch any of that Lego build show?
No.
There's a show that they actually have teams contesting to build Lego setups.
Oh, cool.
And they say, you need to build a bridge, and it's got to be this wide, and it has to hold what they do is they just keep putting weight on it to see which one holds the most weight. It's fascinating.
Oh, that
but
sounds fun.
Different engineering designs. Will something or other is the host.
Will Wheaton?
No, I can't remember his name.
I'll check him out.
But there's a Lego. It's a Lego show about building stuff, and you've got people from all different walks of life who come on and in different ages and just compete against each other for building things.
Lego Masters.
Yeah, Lego Masters. That's it. Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah, I don't think it's on right now, but I think it's probably available to watch the episodes.
Yeah, it looks like a Fox production, which means it's now Disney, right?
I guess. Yeah, they took over their their entertainment stuff. Yep. All right, so that's it for Computer Chicken Now specials. Boy, it's already.
Well, thank you, Spence.
December 12th already. Wow.
Now, before we go to the cord cutting,
December 13th.
13th. I'm sorry. Right.
You lost the day.
I did. No, I gained a day. I lost a day. Yeah. Depends on your perspective.
So starting this month, Microsoft will begin forcing some users to upgrade to Windows 10 version 1909 or version 2004 if they don't update their PC manually. This is coming after Microsoft announced that it's ending support for Windows 10 version 1903, including Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. If you're on Windows 10 version 1903, you'll be force upgraded to version 1909 later this month. If you're on Windows 10 version 1909, you'll be forcefully upgraded to Windows 10 version 2004, the May 2020 update, by the spring of next year. If you're still using last year Windows 10 version, this is important. It is better to attempt to upgrade manually. The process is expected to start this week and expand over the course of the next month before Windows 10 version, I was going to say Z1H1, 21H1 update is ready for production channel.
So
So
ultimately,
they
what they're doing is they're
bringing
turning off the
everybody.
timers that people may have set to
Apparently,
delay.
yeah.
Right.
So
Good.
Older versions still had the 364-day delay.
I just wish they'll do one thing. They'll stop calling it Windows 10.
Yeah.
Well,
Call it Windows
Forever.
and
just
Yeah.
Windows.
Windows
Just
forever.
Windows. That's all.
just Windows.
Yeah.
Microsoft
That's what
Windows.
they will do. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they will do.
I just hope they'll get that.
I'm doing the 20H2 is the most recent one. I'm doing that on this
Yeah.
computer behind me right now.
H1, I think.
No
H2
idea.
is already out.
I think
I don't know.
20H2 is out. Yeah.
I'm running the Windows Update Assistant for the past 2 hours, I think, now on a laptop. It's a i7 laptop. I have no idea what's taking so long. I think all
I
of the
just
downloads.
started the update assistant and it's already at 51% on this computer back here.
51%
Well,
of updating
51
or
of
51?
the first, second, or third phase,
When
because
you-
apparently it reset twice already, going up
Then there
to
might be an
100.
issue because the way that the Windows 10 Update Assistant works is it brings you to it. It doesn't do staggered updates. So like if you run the updated assistant, it won't bring you from 1904 to 1909 to 20H2.
No, I'm on
It'll just bring you
90
straight.
I'm on 1909.
Then it should just
So-
bring you straight to 20H2. There's no reason.
I
for
know.
multiple things.
I know. I just have no idea why it's running
That's
so
weird.
long.
I've been on 20H2 and now I've got the cumulative update for 20H2.
Yeah, 20H2 is the biggest feature,
Okay.
the largest
Yeah.
feature update that's out.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty good update. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got those on my two main machines.
I'm running it behind me.
I have two laptops downstairs, one for Pam and one for me. And I think hers was the hardest to do. It's an older Dell. It is up to date now, but it took forever. I mean, it ran for hours and hours and hours and hours because it's an old, slow machine. But it did actually sort it out and it's done. I've had some printer issues. The printers are there. It doesn't go away, but they become offline. So I've had to, on the two machines I have in my office up here, I had to go and delete the Brother driver. Brother actually gives you a tool to go in and remove the web services driver, because that's the issue. And then reinstall using the latest driver package and everything is fine. But that
Yeah.
was the only issue I had.
That's right. Brother, for years, for at least 10, 15 years, they've had an uninstall tool for their drivers, which is, I love that tool.
This is very good. It cleans out
Yeah.
all the garbage.
It
Yeah.
it completely eradicate any presence of their previous installation, and then you can install fresh. I
Yep.
wish just other
Yes.
hardware producers would have done it. It's like, yeah,
So you don't like
agree.
going into the registry and removing all the stuff?
manually. No, but there
It's
is
horrible. Yeah.
But there is a fantastic tool, an open source tool. I think I mentioned it before. It's called Bulk.
ECU, bulk crap uninstaller. I use
Yeah,
it
exactly.
religiously.
Bulk crap uninstaller. It is
Fantastic.
an amazing piece of software. Because
Literally game changing.
Yeah, because it actually does a proper uninstall first. It attempts that first. And if that is, whether it's successful or not, it'll move to the let's call it brute force removal of every relic that remains there, and gives you like a scale of I know for sure this is part of it. I'm not so sure this is safe to remove, but this looks like it's linked to it, etc. And it has this. You can choose what to remove and not, and very, very, very well done. A
So
lot
as long-
safer
as
than
long
running
as-
something like CCleaner.
As long as it lets you choose what to install, that's great.
Oh yeah.
Any
And
it's
actually,
not
any
Does it go in
uninst-
and look for? Can you do a scan and find artifacts?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it does. And not only that, is when it loads and it scans your system, it on top of the below the list of everything below, it has a bar which shows you visually. You can click by the space your applications consume, and so you click on the largest one. Yeah, and it's really it's such a well designed engineering tool, but also has a fantastic UI which makes it really approachable. So yes, you should know what you're doing. So definitely, if you are completely clueless, right, have a friend or watch a few videos on how to use it. But it is worth the install. It's an amazing tool.
Would you
And
recommend? Would you recommend using the portable only or the actually installing it?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
The
matter.
portable
use-
works
you can-
fine. That's all I've ever
Yeah.
Yeah,
used.
I don't.
You can use either. It knows how to remove itself. It'll
Correct.
show itself as an application there, and if you want to remove it, it'll allow you.
But I
I
will
like
say
using-
that definitely watch some videos on it because it is a little. It's not the most user friendly thing, but it
Yeah.
works incredible. It's because Revo uninstaller is gone. I don't know what they did with that project, but the current version of it doesn't work. So it's
they accidentally uninstalled itself, and now they have no copies left.
Probably.
yeah, I think that's what's going on. So because everybody used to use Revo or Revo,
Yeah.
but that Revo sucks now.
I'm sorry, but I never trusted an uninstall software that was done by a commercial entity. Never.
Yeah.
I never, because there always was an issue. There was always an issue, and this one is a completely open source project, and the minds behind it they're like mine, right? The thought process behind it, and that's why I really recommend it.
So you have a problem with companies that build an uninstaller and have software themselves that is uninstallable?
That is not uninstallable.
That, like Norton?
Oh, you need to remember, I come from Israel, right? The land that invented the antivirus and then invented the infected antivirus that causes you to upgrade to the next antivirus, right? I'm not joking. This was literally one of the practices of one of the first antivirus company, TNT it was called, over here in Israel. So I am absolutely cynical about my approach to software, and that's one of the reasons I really, really appreciate open source. Not because I can personally go in and check the code. Most of the time I don't have the knowledge to test every line of code, but I get a chance to sense the community behind the code, and that is the most important thing I think that open source introduced.
I don't know how many of you caught what Cal just said, quote unquote, here in Israel. That's because he is there now.
Oh yeah,
You're
I
in
am
Israel?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in
really?
Israel right now. Yeah.
That's cool.
See,
Yeah.
this has to be alien technology. There's no way that this could move this fast
Well,
without some type of a
So when we
warp
started
speed generator.
in the back, you couldn't see anything because it was too light. It's dark outside right now.
What time is it? Like 5 or 6 o'clock?
It's right now. It is 5:30.
Nice.
5:36.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let
How long are you in
me.
Israel for?
I'm here a week already, and
Oh, cool.
I'll be leaving in 2 weeks.
And
Less than
and,
2 weeks.
and what he didn't tell you is the whole time he was there, he is in quarantine.
Yeah, I'm in this room mostly. I go out just to the living room to eat with my parents. But yeah, I'm should be out of quarantine by Wednesday, hopefully. If not, maybe Friday. But that's it.
That is why I'm not traveling home for Christmas this year.
No, I just went
Oh,
through it.
no,
For,
I
I
understand
just
you.
went through that for other reasons.
Yeah.
So let's hear about some cord cutting now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
In the meantime, I'll load what was out the window, so to show you guys.
oh,
Let's
cool.
talk about it.
What city are you in, or if you want to tell us?
Haifa.
Haifa. Okay.
Hi-fi? Oh, that's a cool city.
Hi-fi. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice, very good audio sound there. in Haifa.
Haifa. Do the with the phlegm.
No.
I kill you.
What's the word where you actually put a "g" in there? Is that in Arabic? That there's a
What?
word or a name that you go, "g," you have to do that "g" to pronounce the word.
Well, you're probably talking about the letter Ain, which is a very throaty letter. I
Hey.
don't know of anything that goes with G and before that, but Be'er Sheva, She'arain.
I just remember something
It's-
about how there was
it's-
a word that you had to pronounce, and if you did it right, you had to do that.
There is no good.
Yeah,
No.
that's not an exact sound.
There's
That
a-
might be a combination. but
Right.
It
There's
could
a-
be. Yeah,
Ah.
it could be.
It's really
Givat HaEmek,
It's an A from the throat, from deep in the throat.
Migdal HaEmek.
It could be.
Yeah.
And
Givat
also, the person
Shmuel.
might have been. They might have been messing with me too. So who knows?
Well, the person might. I got a friend here say Johha.
Johha.
That person might have been Yemeni, and they have a very, very throaty accent. So that could be as well.
It's like saying GNU with GNU.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So
So tell us.
I started on the adventure. I made some purchases, but didn't get a chance to install it till I guess it's a little over a week now. But I didn't get to report on it last week because I wasn't here. But I went and bought the Amazon Fire TV Recast device, which is the 4-tuner. Bought the 4-tuner version, which is 1 terabyte of storage, 150 hours of recording. And I installed it, and you need to use a Fire TV device to control it. And I chose to use just Fire TV sticks. So I've got several of them now. I've since disconnected. I still have the main Spectrum box downstairs with the DVR, but the 2 other televisions I had on tuners have been disconnected or now just connected using Fire TV sticks. And so the first thing I had to do was to set up
stop, and I mean, we're here to help people too. Are you having different versions of the stick?
I have one older one, but all the other 3 that I have are all current generation. So I have one that's like 2 years old, and it works fine. It's just slower. It's got to do with
And the new one is fine.
It's new, and it's the one that was on sale for and now it's on sale for $17. By the way, I got it. I paid 21, I think, for them.
Okay.
When I bought them, but the 4K one I think is still 29. But I didn't get the 4K because I don't see a 4K TV necessarily in my future for a while. So I'll get another one if that's the case. But the Fire TV box, easy to install, has one F connector on it, which you hook it up to your antenna. And I had some trouble with the antennas, which I didn't think I was going to have. I have an old Winegard. Now, to say it's omnidirectional is a misnomer. It's a dish, and it's powered, so there is no orientation necessarily. It was up in my attic as high as I could get it inside the house, connected to a crossbar support, and I had used it years ago. Got lots of channels.
It's not a dish; it's a saucer.
No, not a dish. It's a saucer. I should say it's a saucer. Correct. In reality, it isn't multi-directional. I shouldn't use omnidirectional. It's multi-directional. There are some directional attributes to it because I noticed as I turned it that the signal strength would change. My problem was there was one channel that has been recently retuned. ABC TV in Raleigh is a upper VHF channel on the high range of VHF. And for some reason, and it's the closest antenna, could not get it with this antenna. Not even a weak signal, nothing, gone, couldn't see it. So I went back and forth. I looked at the specs on this antenna, and it does cover the low and high VHF range. So there was no reason why it shouldn't work, but it didn't work. Tried repositioning it, tried moving it to different parts of the attic, tried turning it, could not get it to work. So I went to Walmart and I bought a $35 RCA antenna, passive antenna, just a dipole. And so it had the VHF and UHF elements on it, directional or semi-directional, they called it. Put it up in the attic, got out my compass on my phone, pointed it at the ABC 11 tower, scanned the channels, and I get them all beautifully now. I have no issues, no pixelization, excellent, all good signal strength across all the channels I can get. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple of weak ones that I won't watch anyway because they're duplicated.
Yeah, but they're coming from far away.
Far away, yeah, 45 miles away. One of them was. And how I get a signal from that, I don't know. But now, so I've got all the ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and all the other PBS stuff, and all the other crazy channels that I probably won't watch. But I am successfully now recording using the Recast TV guide. I'm recording shows, and we've been playing them back. The playback is different than the Spectrum remote a little bit, not a lot different, just the way the remote works. The Fire TV remote is very basic, doesn't have a lot of buttons on it, so you have to get used to using it for that, but it works great. So on the Fire TV, I have Netflix, I have Amazon, I have obviously Amazon. I did install a bunch of other apps. And one thing interesting happened. You can go into the Fire TV and manage the box. You can manage it from your smartphone, but it's very limited in what you can do. You can reset it and things like that. But the best way to manage the channels themselves is using the Fire TV to access the Recast because it gives you an easier interface. But I added the IMDb TV app because I saw there was a series on there that I wanted to watch. I added that. So the next time I was looking at the directory on the Recast, it says live channels, right? Or Recast channels. I'm scrolling down. I get to the bottom of that list and it says IMDb channels. So what is this? It knew when I installed the IMDb to add that to my directory. So now I can choose shows to watch from the directory in IMDb also in one consolidated place, which I thought was cool. I don't know that that's going to continue with other apps. I haven't yet. I decided to try Philo TV for the other channels. It's 60, how many channels is it exactly? 64, 65 channels. And
what about Plex?
What's that?
What about Plex? Plex has its own live selection.
What does it have?
It's completely free.
It's even like A&E and that sort of stuff?
No,
because these are subscription channels. So it's for $20 a month. I get the channels we're looking for. Pam wants all the Hallmark channels. I want Do It Yourself. She wants HGTV, Animal Planet, A&E, AMC. So a BBC America. So all that stuff for $20 a month. And it comes with a cloud DVR, unlimited cloud DVR, 30 days. Is it 30 days? They are limited in how long you can keep a show. So we're going to add that. And then and I got great news. I told Amnon about this. I got a card on my door. AT&T is installing fiber in my neighborhood this month.
No kidding. Well, I'll tell you this, buyer beware. Buyer beware, my friend.
Well, if for no other reason than to toss Spectrum under the bus for a while, even if I come back as a new customer.
Yep.
So,
I hope that you have a better experience than I did,
yeah.
because it's
So you
very
dumped it, right?
intoxicating. I had to. I had no choice. Yeah.
So was it a new installation or was it?
Oh yeah, Mom. I was a new installation. But the
was it
issue
in
wasn't
your-
anything local. It was a hop in New York that was causing all my problems.
Hmm.
But their technical support
I hope
sucks.
it's
I'm
gonna be
still
good.
I'm still working on my article. It should be up in the next week or two.
I hope it's going to be good.
Mine was great from July to November. It's fine, perfect, blazing fast. But
So we're still looking at whether there's any other subscriptions we're going to get. We may keep a few that we have now, just like we're watching The Mandalorian and all the episodes haven't been out yet. I think there's one or two more to go. So my Disney Plus free trial ends tomorrow, and I may pay for the first month just so I can watch that. But we should be able, our bill went to $220 a month with Spectrum. Promotions expired, $220 a month. Insane.
Yeah.
So we're going to get it down to the basic internet connection. I think is going to be, I think it's $79 a month or $69 plus.
But that's not what counts.
Oh, I know. And then there's $20 a month for Philo, and hopefully that'll be it. What Philo does offer, besides their using their app to watch those channels, is they call it TV Anywhere. And here's the description of it. In addition to watching the content on Philo, subscribers can also use any of the TV Anywhere apps from our network partners. So if they have, let's see what they have on here. History Channel, for example. If History Channel has their own app, you can use your Philo license to log into the History Channel app, which is a nice
so
thing too.
they're like a cable provider.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
appear just like I can watch, what was
That's
it,
cool.
Lifetime, or not Lifetime. There was a channel, USA. I have the app on my phone. And the reason I can
Yeah.
watch it is because I'm a subscription
With Spectrum. Yeah.
from Spectrum. So I'll be able to do the same thing.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. And that doesn't require an additional payment?
No,
That's part of that $20 a
part of
month?
that $20 a month.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so that's why I liked it. Unless I'm missing something. I'm looking here. It says,
Well, once you register to them and try it, we
Yeah, I'm gonna do
really
the,
want to know.
I'm going to do the trial, of course. It starts as
Yeah.
a trial, but I think we're going to be good. And we should be, one way or the other, we're dumping the Spectrum cable service. And just as soon as we're comfortable, we're moving over. We went through and looked at all our recorded shows on the Spectrum box, and we've moved all of the over-the-air stuff to the recast. And we're in the process now. We made sure that all the other stuff that we might watch is available on Philo. Philo was the closest we could find to what we watch. There might be a few channels that we touch every so often that it's okay.
I would actually challenge you to
Try Plex.
test the waters without registering to follow. See because what happens when you are expecting the same content, then you're not really exploring what is available right elsewhere. So yes, it's a transition period and all, but maybe challenge yourself and see if you really need that content or not.
I'm up for that challenge.
Yeah,
I'm up for that challenge, but Pam is not up. She wants home.
I understand. I understand.
Spence,
I completely
Spence,
understand.
Gal told me the same thing.
Yeah.
And Kathy is the one that wanted this and this and this, and it wasn't there. And I said, well, let's wait and see, because Gal said to just try it. And at this point, she is fine with what we have. She is not missing anything that she was watching. If anything, she discovered new things that she never knew existed.
I agree,
it's
Amnon. If
working
you can
great.
if you can get all the past episodes of Hogan's Heroes, Gilligan's Island,
That's not what
and
she's
Petticoat
watching.
Junction, then you're set.
That's not what she's watching.
You're said,
know.
not
I know.
Pam.
I mean, I
You can
watch it. I got to the point that now I said I watch TV to be entertained. I don't watch news. I don't watch any of the networks during the day, only in the evening when they have the funnies, the comedies. And other than that, everything else is just comedy, because if I sit in front of the TV, I want to laugh.
And look at
Kathy,
him. Since then, he can't stop smiling.
That's it.
Kathy sits there and watches Netflix, all those quote unquote dark movies. And I go in there and I
Yeah.
said, again, you're watching one of these things. Why can't you watch something that will make you laugh?
Amnon,
instead
you're not getting it. They're really, really funny in a very dark way.
of-" So Spence, I if you can, I would do, I mean,
Amnon,
play a trick.
you-
Play a
don't-
trick. Go ahead and disconnect cable now. Wait a second. You
I
are
want to
going,
have a place to sleep at night.
listen,
You can always buy the $20.
you exactly. And you just stretch it another day and another day and another day. And you'll see where you end up, because you can turn it on a dime. It doesn't take long.
Is
So-
the basement apartment available over there?
We
'Cause
have a
it
free
will wind
room.
up in it.
Not a problem.
Going to wind up in the basement apartment.
No, you won't. No,
No,
you
we're going to
won't.
go. We're going
Anyway.
to go with that the Philo offering, just because it's reasonable, and we could always adapt in the future. I think the fact that we're cutting our cable bill
that's-
more than in half,
Yeah, that's great.
Oh.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
it's going to be great. So, there may be, we have access to Hulu, we have access to Disney Plus, we have Netflix and Amazon, we have what's a couple other ones that we had.
Yeah, same
I
here.
don't have to. We're sharing,
Right.
But so there's no lack of content. I mean, you just go to. I don't like paying for YouTube because I don't want it to not have the commercials. But I watch a lot of old stuff on YouTube. I watched Hang 'Em High. I just stumbled across this movie, Clint Eastwood movie, that I hadn't seen in 40 years, and I watched it on YouTube, the whole movie. So I had to watch some commercials, but that was it. Haifa.
Yep. So what you're seeing in the background, that is the view from my parents' balcony.
Wow.
They are literally on the water. So yeah, this is not my childhood home. There we were ground level on the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you walk
So-
outside, you're in the sand?
Pretty much. Yeah. There's Chofa Hatza. Well, the
Wading.
place where you go to, where you to go to swim. So people go there when it's not quarantine time, it's not Corona time. That place, even in winter, it's just full of people all the time. But right now, everything's pretty much shut
It's
down.
like every other beach on the Mediterranean.
And so, yeah, I'm here at the 8th level on this building, and all of the apartments in this building are facing the sea. So it's a beautiful location.
Yep.
Is that I can picture where it is on the coast there on the map. Is that an area? I always wondered about this, with being in the Atlantic Ocean or going out to the Hawaiian Islands or the Pacific. There's always the potential for bad storms.
No, not
I
here.
would think that
I mean,
they're just
the Mediterranean is a pond, right?
yeah.
it's a
Well, that's what I was
closed-
thinking. It can't
It's a
generate
closed-
storms.
Yeah, right. It's not an ocean. That's
Yeah.
why it's a sea and not an ocean. Not only that, is specifically, I mean, yes, this shore is probably the whole Mediterranean shore of Israel is probably the most active shore in Israel, right, in that terms, but compared to the ocean, yeah, there's no hurricanes here, there's no tropical storms, there's nothing like that. A real harsh storm will be 10 feet waves, and it'll come once every 10 years or something.
Yeah.
It's really rare.
So in other words, no surfing.
No, so surfing here is actually a very, very active sport, because what you don't get, what you do get here that you don't get in other ocean-like scenarios, is the sea is never violent, but it is very constant. So you get 1.5 meters. That'll be
5 feet.
6 feet waves that go for a very long time. So it is there's international competitions that are being done
cool.
here and stuff. Yeah, because of this unique set of circumstances, everything is very close to shore happening. So there's you don't need to go very deep in order to get to be safe, right? And so an entire community around it. Haifa is full of surfers, either wind or waves.
Chasake.
Chasake also.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
At least you're somewhere where it is pleasant to be in quarantine.
Oh yeah, come on! I'm at my parents' house. Even if
Yeah.
it wasn't the desert, it
Well,
would be pleasant.
That's any way you look at it. It's an add-on. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
It is something to brag about and something to show friends, so it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here's something you were talking about, the Oculus. Facebook is being investigated in Germany for linking usage of its Oculus VR headset to having a Facebook account.
Good.
So we said
Yeah,
that
it is
that
a
if
it
you
is a
can't,
very annoying
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Now,
I agree wholeheartedly. So just a reminder, Oculus is their VR hardware. It is excellent hardware. They have a great ecosystem around it. But on their last iteration of their OS for it, they are forcing the use of a Facebook account instead of just a general use Oculus account, which was the option before. So they're migrating everyone who also had an Oculus account into a Facebook account. And one of the problems with the Facebook account is the Facebook account, the end user license mandates that it will be linked to a real person. So
a real account.
No, I'm talking about just Facebook as a general.
Oh.
The end user license says the account should never represent something that other than a person. And so because of the whole social network paradigm around it. But here they are forcing a link between a Facebook social account, right, and a hardware consumer. And there shouldn't be any I mean, it's nice as a feature if you want it, but if you don't want it, they shouldn't force it on you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last time when I talked about it, I said the solution would be to open a dedicated Facebook account just for the Oculus environment for you, and this way you're not forced into that, right? So that would be my recommendation. I do know that it's tough because Facebook does validation via phone number, does validation via email accounts, and it doesn't accept everything. So being anonymous on a platform like this is not completely possible, at least from your relationship with Facebook. You're not anonymous to Facebook, so you cannot use Oculus anonymously anymore. And I think that's a problem. I think that really sucks. You need to go through hoops in order to just use yes, you need an account because there's purchases linked to it and all of that. I understand that, but if I want to just focus on Oculus usage, Facebook says no. This needs to be part of your entire life. And I'm glad that somebody's putting them up,
so maybe
up against the wall on it.
maybe it'll spread, which will be very
Well,
nice.
Germany is part of the European Union. The European Union have very, very strong rules, privacy rules in place on the government level. So GDPR is the most known of them. So I'm guessing they are going through that route. I'm guessing we'll see this from other European countries as well later on. It'll be interesting whether it'll be how should I say, if they'll be successful or not, right? That would be interesting.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah. I mean, up until now, as far as I recall, neither Facebook nor Google, not even Netflix, were successful on suits filed from their governments over there. They might be dragging them, but most of the litigation, they couldn't go around it. They either settled or they lost the case, right? So it might be a good thing for them to get a slap on the wrist and say, no, that's not the way to do things. I just hope it'll affect the global market and not just Europe, because they are known, these companies, to do regional solutions, right? Like with China. So we'll see.
We'll see.
So here's the view outside my back window.
Yeah, it was raining hard.
In Apex, yeah.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: if that is the view in Apex, you're in trouble.
I am. Yep, the last storm. There's so much erosion now. I'm on the ocean.
Yeah,
I'd be SOL if you were on the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
20 feet
That's
under.
True.
So listen.
I'll invite you to watch the Impossible, the movie about the family surviving the tsunami in Thailand.
The Impossible?
The Impossible. Yeah.
Listen to this here. Quote unquote, our esteemed Republican Senator Tom Tillis,
what a jackass,
end quote, has introduced a proposal to turn unauthorized commercial streaming of copyright material into a felony offense with a possible prison sentence. It's currently being included in a must-pass spending bill. Why does the government have to get involved here? Is the RIAA not enough?
Well, Tom Tillis is a stupid jackass, so we know why he's involved. He's a low-life piece of shit, so we knew that already. And yeah, this is government, Amnon. Come on.
No, but
control.
Why does government get involved?
Because somebody is paying him to push the bill forward. I mean, this is what the whole thing is. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
No, par for the course is exactly why that's exactly why I hated him and didn't vote for him. He sucks. Wait, you're gonna throw people in jail for uploading a YouTube video that might have audio in the background? That's essentially what the bill says.
Yeah.
If you stream something online that's got copyrighted material, you could be thrown in jail.
But this is interesting. So who's footing the bill? Who's
Tom Tillis is the sponsor. It's his bill.
Yeah, but who's the money behind it? That's
you never know who the
RIAA. Who else?
Yeah, it's not his conscience that's making him do it.
No,
I understand that.
He sure as hell doesn't have that either.
It's ridiculous.
He made choices early on that this is his job. That's his problem. But I want to know who's making him move. Right? That's terrible.
Talking about privacy, here's Chuck another one for it. Brave Software, maker of the Brave web browser, is introducing a news reader that's designed to protect user privacy by preventing parties, both internal and third party, from tracking the sites, articles, and story topics people view. Brave Today, as the service is called, is using technology that the company says sets it apart from news services offered by Google and Facebook. It's designed to deliver personalized news feeds in a way that leaves no trail for Brave, ISPs, and third parties to track. The new service is part of Brave's strategy of differentiating its browser as more privacy friendly than the competitor. So that's pretty nice if it works.
But
Well, what do you have to say about that?
well, one thing they're not telling us is whether they are tracking us.
No, it says it right here.
No, they're saying nobody else can track.
No, listen. The personalized news feeds in a way that leaves no trail for Brave, ISPs, and third parties to track.
Yeah, but
So not even they track.
Brave isn't open source software,
Well,
so we don't know.
yeah, we
I
don't.
mean, I don't know
absolutely.
if DuckDuckGo
That's-
is tracking me or
that's
not.
why I
I'm
said-
using DuckDuckGo on face value, but
we have to wait and
I don't
see
know
if
if
it
they're-
works.
right.
Yeah. We'll see.
But it is a welcome change.
Yeah,
It's like they're
absolutely.
I wonder how let's put it this way. The moment we know this annoys the news agencies that people are reading the content from is when through Brave, the content will start being blocked. Or it'll say, switch off your ad viewer or whatever. Ad
Blocker. Yeah.
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 Interesting.
We'll have to wait and see. What else?
I think that's it.
Nobody has anything else? Anything happening?
I've got some stuff. We'll
chat?
talk about it next week.
Yeah, talk.
Let's discuss
we're
the
good.
reason. Let's discuss the reasons why you need to have physical gold in your inventory.
Oh yeah,
Oh no,
Hi.
sorry.
wrong network.
All right. Well, then we'll leave it at that. We'll end the show right here. Again, thanks, Nick.
Oh wait,
Oh, wait. Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
One more.
just pay processing and handling. I will have in the coming weeks. I will have some more stuff about 3D printing. I'm still tinkering around with all that. I'll have.
Is it up and running?
Oh yeah, I've printed a
Oh,
bunch of stuff,
okay.
but I'm
All right.
still. I ordered some attachments, some things to swap out, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah,
Okay.
I've
That'll
printed
be
out.
interesting.
Did I show the little thing I printed out here?
No.
Oh, let me go. Printed out this little guy. It's a battery holder, a AA and AAA battery holder.
Dispenser.
Dispenser, correct? Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
there.
pretty neat. So you pull a battery out. The whole
Yeah,
thing
look
slides
at you,
down.
Spence, trying to put your name in everything.
That's it.
There you go. This was
right.
like 20 something hours of printing.
Okay. And how much money in material? Roughly, what would you say?
Maybe a couple dollars. I don't know.
That's not bad.
He used it. He melted down recycling stuff, and that's what he used it.
Yeah.
And-
The PLA Plus I buy is $20 for a reel, and I think you get about 3,000 feet per reel.
Can you make one for car batteries too?
I mean, I probably could.
And-
I don't know if that would
How
probably be.
how rigid?
This thing is marginally rigid. I mean, it's not.
Okay.
This thing's not the thickest thing in the world. I
And-
also did. Let me go grab two other.
And you did it by. That's interesting.
How long did he say? How long it took to print?
22,
How long
also
did it
did-
take?
To what?
20
print?
some
How
hours.
long?
He said 20.
The battery holder was 16 hours for
Oh.
the base and 5.5 hours for the side.
Wow.
Printed out this thing as well, little ham radio call sign. That's pretty rigid because it's just a flat piece of whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, wait a second now.
What?
The battery holder.
Yeah.
It was a 2-part, and
Yeah,
then you had to glue them together.
Yeah, I glued it together. Mhm.
So there's no way to do it all at once.
You could have, but no.
Okay.
You want it
You're
to be
limited
two
in
different parts.
size. Yeah. You're
Well, it's not
limited.
anything you're limited size. It's just the design of it wouldn't really work
Okay.
together. So I did this little guy. This came out pretty well.
Yeah, that's
And
big.
then this is a solder hand without alligator clips. So you put a wire in it, and it's a less harsh version of solder hands.
The
yeah,
helping
A couple
hand.
little things.
Nice.
So, yeah, just been playing around with it. I ordered a glass bed and a couple new springs that I have to put on there. I just haven't had the time to outfit it yet.
What's the glass bed for?
It has a magnetic bed right now. It's apparently a little bit easy. The printing on the glass bed is apparently better.
Oh.
So I ordered one.
Nice.
So been
Very
playing
nice.
around with that. Cool little hobby.
And
Got it out in the garage.
And there's no doubt, people, that the reason he didn't print on it in the last few days, again, because he's becoming a punk.
Well, dude, I haven't even bothered touching it because I really just have been playing Cyberpunk, which I will be doing precisely the second that we leave this show. So.
Oh boy.
Stop dragging him down.
No, I'm not. It's fine. It's always like this. I'm used to him. Whenever a new game comes out, that's it. You don't hear from Nick for a
No,
few
you
days.
don't understand. Cyberpunk 2077 is not just a new game comes out.
This is 8 years in the making.
Yeah. 8 years people have been talking about it, and 2 years people have been watching the
Trailers.
more than 2 years. The results of the work, and everybody's been drooling about it. So it's
Arnie, I did not take the test. I'm taking it January 9th.
All right. So again, thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gal. Spence. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dina, Arlet, Micha, Eleanor, if you're listening. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, Nick does his Against the Norm show at atnshow.com. And if you're in Wilmington, you can listen to it on 106.7 FM. And you can watch a video version of it after the fact, right, Nick?
Yep, or live
Oh, you are live?
on
Okay.
YouTube. Mhm.
All right. And Tuesday, Nick does, again, the Infection podcast for gaming, survival game. Very interesting. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.